hopefully that fixes it. Not seeing any more notifications pop up as of this moment. So I'll take that as a good thing. I'm gonna set my Hearthstone over here real quick, because
Peace be with you. Asha Fela.
cool. That just means that once I finish these quests, I can run out here, because I also need to run out to Astronaut anyway, because I need to pick up a book from over there. So
Peace be with you.
I am definitely going to hit 27 in this cave, which is nice. Or in this dungeon, I mean. Where did that bear just go? There was a bear right here, right? Like, I'm not insane. Did I layer or something? I shouldn't have layered. Anyway. Come back, my one viewer. I need you to spread the good word. You know what? While I'm here... let's see, where is it? There we go. There's a lot of people in my level range that are dying right now, and I just don't like that feel. Now, my biggest fear with BFD is only one room, and it's the room with the candles. And that's only because you either get a troll in there. There's three options. You have a troll that lights them all. You have a newbie that lights them all. Or you have a good group and you just chill and, like, it's not an issue. But, that's my only concern with this dungeon. Is just the candle room. We shouldn't have to worry about any of the underwater stuff because we have a warlock in the group. A self-found warlock at that, too. Another level 20 in my... Another level 20. That is damn close to me in level dying. Okay, we love it. And if at any point you see me do this little number, I am muting myself. I am getting over being sick still, and no one wants to hear all the gross noises associated with being sick, am I right? I barely want to live with it. You know, I doubt an outsider wants to just listen to me just be gross. So, not even my own wife wants to listen to me be gross. So I think the goal after doing all that, shoot, I might actually go and get that stuff over there for my chess piece. Not entirely sure how I feel about that quite yet, though. Oh, kid alert. As per usual, you put your kids to bed, but bedtime is an illusion. Does not actually mean anything. Wait, now I can go this way. I am so unfamiliar with getting to BFD, it's kind of insane. And that is that I have an add-on that helps me remember like where entrances to the different areas are. So I don't even know what this paladin's doing. This paladin's like chilling over there. Also, does he have less health than I do? I have a grand. He has a little more than I do, okay. But he's also a level higher. We'll see. I will definitely be off tanking, especially since paladins do not have a taunt, which is the biggest reason that they are just unused for tanking in raid situations. You know, if a DPS pulls off a mob from them, they literally just don't have a way to pull them off or pull them back without blowing a bubble cooldown or something of that nature. But doing that is unviable because you're essentially looking at an ability that you can only use like what every 5 minutes as compared to what 10 seconds? Yeah, 10-second taunt. And in some situations 10 seconds is still not enough time to like ensure somebody's safety. Despite how short that cooldown is, it can feel horrendously long sometimes if you taunt and happen to go on like a spree of misses or parries and dodges and just don't generate the threat to rip that mob back like passively. What's up, Trick? Just in time to watch me off tank for this paladin in a BFD. I don't think I've had a chance to actually tank anything on this character because there's always been somebody else wanting to tank instead. And I'm cool with just sitting back at the moment. I saw that. I know they're in their 30s now. But let's be real, they were always going to pass me because I'm leveling this guy like on my off time at this point, and I've had the busiest month. It's been like insane.
How generous.
I think after this weekend, like my time kind of frees up, but then October is equally as busy for me, so we'll see how that works out. Hey, I appreciate it, Trash. Every little bit helps at this point. I'll start a cult following, and then we'll have our own, like big streamer in the raiding guild or something like that, you know. Speaking of which, and I got to go on a bit of a tangent this month. I mean, a month is enough time to hit 60, but I've been so damn busy. Anyway, random tangent that I talked about earlier when I had no one listening, but Tella is recruiting for damage right now. I think the bank and Leanne have more than enough gold right now. Unless we need to invest heavily in something, so. Who knows, maybe that, maybe Turtle's, Thunder Fury will be will be that thing we need to pick up. Yeah, Tella restarted Damage, which was, I think, his old guild back on Defias Pillager. I saw him recruiting for it earlier, which I guess that means he's done with doing Frontier. But it all but finalizes my thought process that he intentionally killed himself on that Ragnaros fight. So. Yeah, I was kind of hoping he would come back too, but sadly I don't think that's in the cards. I couldn't understand why he would be upset about that, but alright. Yeah, I'll never understand the thought process about being upset about that. He was not bringing anything. What he brought to the table did not outweigh like everything else, kind of like behind the scenes. So and I hate being like that because I like giving people like a fair shake at stuff, but sadly just he kept leaning in the wrong direction, and it just became like an inevitable thing that he wasn't going to be around for too much longer, sadly. I hate that my bags are almost full already. I hate self-found. Why did I do this to myself? I mean, this is great. I love it. Heard a Murloc get aggro, but I don't know. There it is. Love it, love missing. Nice. Love to miss. Warlock's a Chad, already has the underwater breathing on us. Love it. time that. So Escape Artist resets your swing timer, so I messed up my swing timer on that terribly. What is Pure even talking about in guild chat right now? Scripture really has a ton of AoE in it. Holy crap.
I need to get closer.
You should not be here. Slay them.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this group, sadly. The tank is just kind of not grabbing aggro as he's pulling stuff, so and the mage keeps re-grabbing stuff and additionally pulling some more. least the paladin's keeping up on buffs, right? Something. Why me? Love the fact that he just says big, and I just have a sinking feeling myself. I mean, I'll level off of this, so something, right? Oh, my macro went off in the middle of this group. Oh, that's fantastic. That is too good that it just went off like that. Whew. Oh. And these guys are from Rosario too, so they're probably just like, what the hell is going on with this guy? our way towards Gelahast.
Inventory is full.
Ironically has more armor than my shield, but whatever. The fact that he needed on that so quickly tells me that he's probably gonna need on the sword as well. Which kind of sucks, but you know what? I'll just outroll him with my great rolls that are definitely not going to be like below a 30, so. Also, I'm just not a fan of BFD apparently. I do not enjoy this dungeon. So I'm glad to be one and done in here. I'd prefer if we didn't skip over the, this quest right here, but I don't think our tank knows what he's doing necessarily in terms of pathing, so that kind of is what it is. Make sure I attack this guy because otherwise I'm gonna get slowed. But it sucks anyway because just doing a cleave also puts a slow on me. Of course I miss. Make sure that I'm on this kick duties as best I can, but that involves swords or stance or shield swapping. Hey, another viewer, welcome. This guy's just needing everything? Alright. Major's actually doing a really good job of kiting that out.
I can't carry anymore. Inventory is full.
Okay, drop the cheese. To our new viewer, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I am leveling up my self-found alt. I'm currently running BFD. I am off-tanking this because we have a paladin tank. I wish I was raiding right now, but sadly I got stuff to do this weekend, so I just don't have time to pick up all my world buffs again before Monday since I'll be gone this weekend. But if you enjoy raiding content, we will be raiding on Monday, doing some 40-man stuff, BWL and AQ40. That'll be our guild's first delve into AQ40, so there'll be a lot of talking in that run as we discuss bosses and trash pulls and all that fun stuff.
carry anymore.
5 silver. We gotta get rid of something. Get rid of that. Pop that onto myself. Looks like there's only 2 of us on this quest right now, so hopefully these should go pretty quickly in my favor. Quick little shield swap. Interrupt. Of course. Gets off 2 heals. Oh, health potion. Really big, actually. Because I think I still have level 5 health or level 3 health potions. Jeez. No, I wasted my overpowered proc. Actually, I want to set on this acolyte over here for the healer. Or so I can stop the healing, should I say. I don't get parried twice from behind. I mean, I think that's kind of impressive to be able to do something like that, but I'm gonna call a load of bullshit simultaneously. Triple acolyte, oh that's annoying. The renew is literally healing, doing more healing than I can damage. I think that's tragic. There we go. No, I wanted that. No. So at least 2 or 3 people here in the group have completed this quest, so who jumped in the water? There we go. 2 more. Okay, I think I definitely get all my pendants off of this, which is nice. In about an hour and a half, I gotta make sure that I'm on my main so that I can get my rend buff that's dropping. Cool. It's all my pendants. Where do I turn the pendants in? That is over here. Okay, cool. Kinda have to go to Darnassus anyway to pick up my bow skill. Talked to the wrong thing because I'm an Uber.
I need to target something first. inventory is full.
Missed that. That is better than what I have right. Oh, he's sneaking on everything. This dude is wild. Yeah, I'm gonna roll on that too. Fuck it. Cool. Actually, I didn't even look at the speed. That's a 3.6, okay. If it was a super fast two-hander, I would have felt bad about taking it, because paladins make better use of quicker two-handed weapons. I have not had time to change out my macro. I gotta be the big boy on campus and do all the interrupting, because the mage just isn't doing enough counterspelling. Given the fact that, you know, he doesn't have to weapon swap like I do to do that. Mine's I do believe that is the last guy before this boss. As far as world buffs are concerned, I am not going to actively seek out world buffs. If I come across them kind of passively, so be it, but I'm not going to go seeking out the buffs for this guy. wants it. Oh, big priest. Pass. Nice. I put myself in combat. Don't think the mage meant to hit that button.
I can't carry any.
Well, as far as I was concerned, this part of the dungeon was the scariest part, just given the horror stories that you see when it comes to lighting these candles, but these guys are taking it slow, so that's been really nice. And to our new viewer, I am sick, so if you see me reaching over to my headset like this, I'm muting myself so you don't have to hear me just being gross, you know? I barely want to hear it. Don't want to make other people hear it too. The last one shot the small guys, right? Yeah, a little baby dudes. Alright, we're praying for the weapon off this last boss. And we're praying we outroll this paladin, because this paladin's been rolling on everything despite being a paladin. He's been rolling on random greens, random gems, and that leads me to believe that he's definitely going to try and take that two-handed weapon if it drops. And I'm going to be real sad, because I have yet to go into a dungeon and see an actual, like, good two-hander to use. And given that I'm self-found, I am not going to have my whirlwind axe until like my to mid to late 30s more than likely. On my first warrior that I did not have my whirlwind axe until 36, but that guy was also self-found, so I did all the farming for the materials on that myself, and yeah, had to do a lot of kiting, a lot of close calls, especially with the fire elementals, because there's no way to mitigate just pure fire damage without kiting. Technically speaking, I could get one of my guildies to run me through that stuff, but that, in my opinion, breaks the spirit of self-found. So I will be getting my whirlwind axe. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to get, but I think it is a why. Don't move up. There you go. I think the whirlwind axe is a quintessential whirlwind or warrior requirement. Like if you're gonna play the class, you got to get the whirlwind axe. Like it's simply how it has to be. There are definitely people that choose to forego it, and that is fine. They are allowed to do that. I personally love the whirlwind axe. I think the questline is interesting, and I think the solo method to killing Cyclonian is actually kind of fun, with bouncing in between the river water. Right now I'm less focused on dealing damage and more focused on just debuffing this boss to try and mitigate as much damage as possible. And it continues. Still haven't seen a two-hander drop.
Inventory
So,
is full.
I guess we'll continue on our journey.
You got my attention. Very good.
Oh no, not a terrible run. Was not the biggest fan of how they handled some of the pulls, but I mean, the paladin and the mage were in a guild, so they were probably communicating via Discord. I rarely run Black Fathom Deep, so I actually completely forgot that you get to teleport back to Darnassus afterwards. So I shouldn't have made my Hearthstone in over there in Aberdeen, but you know, it is what it is.
Greetings.
I will put that in the bank, that in the bank, and sell that. I'm gonna end up selling most of that, I think, but
Denied.
I have about an hour before buffs drop, or before the buff that I want drops, so Because I'm looking to get my Ren buff for my 60, so that I can have that ready for Monday. I am super pumped that we're getting into AQ40
What
on
brings
Monday.
you here? Goddess watch over you.
I do not need to pick up any training because I just hit 27. Turn in this quest. Pick up the flight path. I pick up the flight path and Hearthstone because I don't feel like wasting time. Come here, do a little parkour. Actually, he's upstairs, isn't he? Parkour is meaningless. There he is.
Ishnuala.
Alright, what do we get? Leather and cloth. Neither of those matter, but guess what? Free money. Alright, my guild is on the final boss of AQ20 right now. Hopefully they get some good drops in there. Cool. So they're using a certain pulling technique in for that final boss where we clear the entire room out first for that final boss, and then we use a warlock, and we have them use Eye of Kilrog, and Eye of Kilrog will engage the boss. It will completely negate the enrage mechanic that he has built in, so we don't have to worry about getting one shot off the rip. And then we just take him to where we take him up the stairs right behind the boss, tank him in a corner. That way we don't have to worry about the knockback. And then we pretty much just tank his make from there. Just gotta watch out for threat. Ooh, that is a.
Farewell.
Oh, there's two of them. That is a double death in BRD. A druid, and who's the other one? A druid and a warrior. So that is probably, if not a tank and a DPS, then probably tank and a healer. There's a good chance we'll see a few more people. There's a good chance we'll see a few more people dead here in a little bit. I was gonna Hearthstone, but I realized that I still gotta run, and I still gotta run and turn it, or run and get the flight path from. Oh, holy shit! We actually had a hammer drop. That is massive. We do not get many weapon drops in this guild. We've been clearing Molten Core for months now, and we just got our second Brutality Blade, if that kind of puts things into perspective. We've also been clearing Onyxia for like 6-7 months, like on a weekly basis. Sometimes twice a week, depending on how lucky we get with lockouts, and we've only seen one weapon from her drop as well, so that's a really big pickup. Who's in the run right now, though? I would hope that goes to maybe Marisma. If not Marisma, then... Oh, that's gotta go to Mean Machine, right? Yeah, that's gotta go to Mean Machine if he's in the run. Mean Machine is a recent pickup in our guild,
I am
and
listening.
that guy is insanely good. He
Good luck, friend.
comes from Defias Pillager, which was the unofficial hardcore server where he has cleared through Nax. So, he was a really big pickup. to AFK walk now for a bit. Wonderful. Everyone's favorite thing. Got a message from my wife. Oh, my brother sent me a meme. My brother recently just left to medical school, and he's taking medical school out of he's going to medical school out of the country. So I will not be seeing him sadly for a couple years, more than likely, unless he happens to drop by for the occasional holidays. But this will actually be the first time, at least for him, that he has been not only out of the state but out of the country and like away from family. So wishing him the best not only in his studies but in his journey, I guess, experiencing adulthood like on his own. I got my first taste of being on my own when I went to college, and then my wife convinced me when we just had our second kid to travel the country and allow her to do some contract work with what she does for a living. And so I packed up my bags and traveled the country for like the first time. I'm very much a homebody. She's very much the outgoing personality in the relationship. So I was very hesitant to go out and leave the comfort of not only my home city and state, but having my family around constantly. But I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens. And so we ended up moving across the country 3 separate times, and it actually ended up being like a real blessing for us. It was crazy to say it, but it was oh, hey bud. Sorry, that is my youngest doing his typical thing of coming over to show me something a little silly and then wander off like a cloud. Oh, you fell? Are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I know. Are you okay? Okay, good. Someone dropped a rend 8 minutes ago. That's gonna mess up with the buff drop that I want. Let's see if they've modified it at all. They might modify that drop because it's only a couple minute wait. So but I do want that rend for my main. That is the hardest of the buffs to get because as Alliance it requires a lot of hoops to jump through to get. You have to either have a second account, which I do not, or you have to have access to a second account or a friend that has a horde character that is level 20 that they don't care about, that has leveled up engineering to 215, I think, and you have to meet them in a specific place. You have to challenge them to a duel to the death. During that duel to the death, they have to mind control you. While you are mind controlled, once you get mind controlled, you have to wait for the buff to drop. Once the buff drops, then the person that is controlling the horde character needs to log out quickly so that the duel ends. The duel ends and gives them a debuff. That debuff is a 3-day in-game debuff, so you can't just get it and then not play the character for 3 days. You have to, if you get that debuff on your main, you have to legitimately play 3 full days of game time, so 72 hours of the game time before it falls off. So, and it is a pretty nasty debuff. It's like a, okay, yeah, that's fine. Just go put it by the front door. Anyway, the debuff that you get lasts for 3 days, and it's like a damage debuff, a resistance debuff, and a, oh, what is it? Anyway, it's a massive 3-day long debuff, and it's just a real pain to have to deal with. I've seen a couple people mess up their attempts to get that buff, and I've seen them have to legitimately just like live at their computer or have someone at their computer at all times to keep them active, because if you're not constantly doing something, the game will detect that you're just like occasionally like stutter stepping or jumping or moving like left and right, and it will disconnect you after like an hour. And so you can't just have a you can't just have something pressing on the run forward button, or you can't just have something constantly pressing the jump button for you, because the game will detect that and just disconnect you after about an hour. And then you thought you were good, you walked away for 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever, doing your own thing, and then you've only really logged in an hour, and you're just screaming at yourself internally for more reasons than one. So I'm tempted. Maybe there's a Stockades group brewing that can pull me in with a Ghosty. I love Ghosty. Ghosty was a level 60 that died on the final boss in AQ40, I think last week. Dude has always been super cool. He hops in our Discord occasionally and like offers us assistance for like raid questions that we have. He also had he was also like a well-known server-wide like enchanter, and so when he died, like a ton of people were really upset about it. But like many, he's going again, and we're thankful for that, because dude's just, not only is he just a good guy, but like he's the epitome of a gamer. Like he's good at what he does. He's helpful, and he does not shy away from like assisting people, even if it's like beneath him, so to speak. They filled that group fast. There we go. Delist myself. We are close to the town. I think right here is where I need to go to get the book that I need. But I think I also need to go to Stone Talon. Probably do this quest too to knock it out. But if I'm in Stone Talon, there's a good... No, because I need to go to like Ratchet to do that. Never mind. Oops. Just gonna run right past the flight point that I definitely need, because it's a pain in the ass to get over here otherwise. Okay. But I really don't feel like doing that, running all the way up there, clearing all that. But that would give me motivation to go to Desolus, would actually be a really big pickup in terms of flight points, because Desolus leads us to Maradon later. If I'm feeling really crazy, I could run all the way south and go to Feathermoon. Anyway, getting to Feathermoon is also a big pickup because getting over here is just a real pain in the ass, but I would have to avoid a bunch of like level 50s, and I don't feel confident enough to make that run at the moment. As a matter of fact, I'm like super high level, and I haven't even touched Duskwood like at all. I haven't touched Menethil at all. So I need to figure out my life. I definitely need to do the war banners because that leads me to a quest line where I can actually get my I can get a two-hander that is good enough to get me where I'm going. Definitely not high enough for RFK yet. I think I need to be like in my 30s for that. I think the last boss in there is like, what, like 34? 33, 34? Oh look, it's Marcus Phoenix offering me a bunch of viewers. No thanks, I'll do this legitimately. I'm also poor, so you're hitting up the wrong guy. Alright, I need to go like straight south. Definitely don't want to cut through those camps. Those guys have a thrash. Pretty sure there's some of them that have totems. Yeah, there's a. Real curious as to what is going on in the LFG chat. Oh, someone is faking a death log. Never mind. I think trade goods is where I need to be.
Ishnu Allah, my goods are of the highest quality.
Nice. Expert cookbook. And then I can sell that. Don't need those. Can sell that. I can cook with that. Don't need those. As far as cooking's concerned, hot spice. She doesn't have any water for me. Mild spice. I don't think there's a general goods vendor here, right?
Good luck, friend.
Yeah, well, that was the biggest thing that I needed out of here. You know what? I don't care about the flight point over here. So I'm gonna just run it down this way, and I'm going to just do the quest that I need to do over there, and get the flight path to Stone Talon, or not Stone Talon, to Desolus, and then Hearthstone out. I should hopefully be able to do all of that within the like 40 minutes that I have. I need to change out my macro real quick. But love that he literally went out of his way to just root me in place and then absolutely bail. I do want to do the Blackrock Champion quest, but a little more important that I knock this stuff out. Especially if I plan on doing BRD, or sorry, RFK, so that I can finish out my chess piece. RFK also has a good two-hander that can drop out of there, because apparently I don't have luck with any other two-hander dropping. And like I said earlier, I am not going to have my Whirlwind decks anytime soon, sadly. Because I will not be accepting help for that. That is something I plan on grinding out myself. Hopefully the RNG is not too terrible, because getting the life root is a real pain in the ass if you're not an herbalist. But I'm not about to drop mining or engineering to level up my herbalism that high just to drop it and then relearn the skill that I dropped, so. Looks like my guild is currently in their ZG run. They just killed the first boss already. Kinda hoping that the weapon that Marisma needs drops. Can't remember if he has the offhand or the main hand, but he has one of the war blades and he needs the second one. Alright, hey, we've officially passed the 1 day played mark. We're at a day and 3 hours. Not too terrible for self-found. Means we're moving at a pretty steady pace. Once we hit 30 though, things will kind of pick up because we'll get sweeping strikes. If we ever get a good weapon, that will also help speed things up, because right now we are struggling on the damage end of things because of the lack of a good weapon. Ran Dead Mines 3 times, no weapon drop. Ran SFK, rare spawn was not up, so no weapon drop. Also had the shield drop in there and taken from me by a Ret Paladin. Also got kicked out of that same group because I rolled need on this. It's a BOE. Rolled need on it because had a really crappy green at the time. And so they kicked me and I was like, I'm self-found, and the Paladin literally took a shield from me and he's Ret. Like, what do you want from me? So they re-invited me back, finished the run, but nothing good dropped, sadly. And then just ran BFD, and the pants dropped, and not the sword. So, you know, just we're struggling with the drops, sadly. the top end is 14 higher. It's a little faster. I don't really care for the proc, but it's a 5 DPS upgrade, which at this level is really big. Something tells me that that mage just failed the escort quest. So I'm pretty sure those scorpions are the ones that populate during the chicken escort that you get. That escort is a real pain in the ass though, because sometimes the mob, or sometimes the chicken just does not give a shit that the mobs spawned right on top of him. He'll just keep running. And it doesn't matter if you're fighting them. He's still just like, I could give two shits, and he'll just keep running. This is a horde town, right? Definitely should not. I mean, it doesn't lead to where I need to go anyway, but I don't play horde, so... And I never that's a lie. I played horde once in Cataclysm I played a Fury Warrior in Cataclysm, a Goblin Fury Warrior. But past that, I've never played Classic Horde. Beyond my, my level 20 that I have, but my level 20 is just for getting that Ren buff and giving it to guildies that may need it if I already have mine taken care of for the week. Because at this point I only get that buff for 40 man days. And I guess I'll be getting it twice a week now because we're changing our raid schedule to Monday, Friday, 40 mans instead of just Mondays. And then our catch-up raid days, our 20-man raid days are Wednesday, Saturdays. Slowly getting closer to where we need to be. And in about 20 minutes, give or take. Oh, rare spawn? Don't mind if I do. Pretty nasty poison. Parried, of course. Why would I expect a hit? Once again, why would I expect a hit? 5 agility cloak. Do not think that is better than... Yeah, it's not. But you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. There's a part of me that wants to layer and hope that there's another one of those in the area, but I genuinely don't think they drop anything worth mentioning, so... You know what, I'm doing a little AFK running anyway, we can Google this. Pride Wing, Patriarch. At this point I'm not going back, I'm just more curious as to what he can drop. Yeah, so he just drops a bunch of miscellaneous... A bunch of real miscellaneous greens that are all on the lower end of stuff, so... I think I technically high rolled with the level on this because apparently he can drop stuff like as low as level 16. But it is what it is. I think there are fire elementals in this area, but I don't think they drop anything worth mentioning. If they dropped elemental fires, I'd be super happy because there is a gun I can make at 36 with high enough engineering that is probably the best weapon you can get without like really good just RNG drops for world stuff. Because it is just a nice 5 agility stat stick gun. The ironic part about that is that normally I make that weapon on all my characters because it's just 5 agility is hard to beat. But I did not make it on my last guy. Instead, I picked up a bow, or bought myself a bow, because my other character was not self-found. I bought myself a bow and used that for a bit because I was expecting to get a +1 to hit bow from Dire Maul East. And instead of getting that bow, I ended up getting the 1% hit bow from Lower Blackrock Spire. So I leveled up my bow skill for nothing. And then I got my crossbows up high enough finally, and ended up getting a gun drop from BWL. So a mithril deposit, and I can't mine it. I think I'm like 40 points too low or something like that. So I'm sitting at like 220 something. Yeah, 228 or 128. Sorry. I think you need like 165, 175. Yeah, 175. +3. Nice. So I don't have to kill as many of those as I thought, which is nice. Nope, I saw a couple of them over here. Go away, basilisks. I really don't want to play with you. This is a mob dense area I am so unfamiliar with. And even though I did this quest, I've only done it once, and I did it on my other self-found, which was a lifetime ago at this point, really. Really don't want to deal with that basilisk because of the whole stunning situation thing that they can do.
Health warning.
Of course. I'm gonna have to pop a potion, I think.
Health warning.
Yep. Alright, now we're gonna strafe this out a bit. Strafe it out. Cool. New bandage. No big deal. Don't like that I have to blow my big potion, but with these guys having ranged abilities like that, something I simply can't I really hate this area, what the hell? So we'll keep working our way this way. Try and get ourselves a little more near the exit. Hopefully track down the mob that I need. I think the one mob that I need is like... That's the mob I need. Hopefully she plays nice and just walks back here to me. Of course we miss. Why wouldn't we miss? As soon as this guy dies, I need to start eating. Don't even think about it. Alright, so I got the last thing I need from here. Or almost. I need to find some more of these fledglings. Okay. The fledglings should still be in this area. For my own safety, I think I'm gonna kind of hug this outside area. Another mithril deposit, and I can't get it. Sad. Need that chimera to kind of walk this way. I can't wait to hit 30. You have so much more escape potential once you hit 30. Right, I need to find one more of these guys. The sun just runs in here. Daddy, it's dark. Yep. It's because it's bedtime, son. Nice, I killed Bloodlord. Bloodlord is probably the scariest boss in ZG. Not because of... I mean, he kind of hits hard, but the worst part about Manicure is that, that ability that he has where he has an ability where he stares at you, and if he's staring at you and you do anything, that includes like any damage over time abilities, any heal over time abilities. The only thing that bypasses that is the warrior bleed. The warrior deep wounds bleed does not trigger that effect, but everything else triggers that effect. And so a priest renew, druid, heal over time abilities, warlock dots, anything like that will trigger it, and he will literally charge at you and insta-kill you. Unless you have a paladin that is just insane with a blessing of protection or a mage ice blocking, and you can also bypass it with a limited invulnerability potion, but that involves you like being prepared and knowing that he's going to absolutely clap you up if you happen to mess up your rotation and you're not prepared. Okay, definitely have to stick to the trail here because these mobs are, if they're not orange to me, then they are definitely red. I want to get that tin vein, but there are more than a few mobs here. You know what? Sword and board. Not going to risk it. If I aggro any of these things, especially these swoops have a knockdown. Which is unironically called swoop, so. Though if I'm lucky, maybe I could come across a nice iron node that is easily accessible. Don't think I'll be that lucky. Definitely don't have the ability to take on a mob that has 2 less HP than I do. Alright. Just have to get over there. Gotta really dance in between all these mobs. That one's 6 levels higher than I am. Alrighty, enough clenching. We're in a good spot now. There's a guard. That means we're safe. We can get our flight path. Be happy with it. Looks like my guild just engaged the spider boss. Spider boss is super tank and spank. Literally just face her away from the raid, and an occasional mob spawns that you have to pick up and kill. But other than that, it's just super easy. Yeah, as nervous as it was just running down here, there's no way in hell I was making that run to Feralis. So
Ishnu Allah.
great. Because I didn't pick up that flight path, I think I literally have to go up and down like that if I was to get over there. But
Alone light your path.
we're just gonna hearth out. These few things are gonna go into my bank for sure. So is that book. If we're lucky, we'll make the boat. Boat's not there, so it either just left or it should be on its way shortly. Alright, I'm actually going to pause the stream for a bit. I gotta talk to one of my guildies, don't know what it's about. Would hate to potentially spread any personal information about stuff, so give me a second to figure this out. I'd prefer not to just end the stream, but I mean, if I have to, then I have to, you know what I mean? Alright, might just have to end the stream. Take care of this real quick. Be back, hopefully.